think we good. I think we good. I think we good with. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. My bad, y'all. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Hope y'all enjoying this day. Let me bring us in the right way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast? If this is your first time tapping in tonight, I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. And you know how we're going to do. We're going to do our thing. Shout out to my co-host, my bro Santana, bro from another mother. Again, we still trying to work out this YouTube situation. The connection just been off, and we just don't want to give y'all a show full of freezes. So we're going to be adding Instagram to the show as well too. We're going to be doing lives off of there, but we're still going to be doing lives even if it's just myself. I'm still going to be doing lives every Thursday and Sunday from here from 10:30. We're just going to work out another situation until we're able to get back on here together on YouTube, but we're also going to be adding Instagram as well, so y'all could get both perspective and energy. So again, shout out to my bro Santana. Also shout out to our guest host, one of my good friends in the world, my bro Jokey from Jokey Entertainment. Again, I want to thank y'all for tapping in tonight, and we're gonna have a great and fun night, man. What else we got going on? What else we got going on? Oh, again, we on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We a little over 11,000 subscribers. So again, I want to thank y'all for supporting the show. As always, continue to help us grow. Like, subscribe, share. Again, share videos, and we have shorts. But we have over 450 rewatchable videos of this podcast on this channel, the Ashley Lovechild channel. So again, make sure y'all tap in. Memberships is also in the links. Different memberships get different access. So again, help us to continue to achieve our goals and continue to support. We have great conversations. We talk about everything from sports to regular life questions, and it's just a great space to, have them good, have that good old grand old conversation. So, again, thank y'all for tapping in tonight. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of the podcast, which is Button Snap. So you get the finest selected of movie shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. Button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Also, I want to thank everybody for supporting my new EP. Winners Loyalty is on every music platform right now. So make sure y'all continue to support and tap in. Again, it's called Winners Loyalty for all my true hip hop fans. So make sure y'all go and continue to support. I want to say thank you for the support that y'all given me already, and continue to support the EP. 6 songs, fire. So make sure y'all tap in. Also, what we have here, I feel like I'm missing something. I wrote it down. And we also got some other stuff coming up as well as a podcast. 2025 has been such a dope and great year. We got bigger and better things coming that we want our chat to continue to be engulfed and to be included in. So be on the lookout for some of those announcements as well. What else? What else? I feel like I'm missing one thing. I thought I wrote it down, so y'all gotta excuse me, but I thought I wrote it down for us. Uh, I hate when people, you know how they do. People like to call while I'm while I'm on live, and y'all know how I do. I pays them no mind, so I pay them a little mind. I don't pick up the phone, so. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. So let's get it started. Let's get it started. I want to thank everybody in the chat so far. We got a couple of badge holders in the building, a couple of our day ones already in the building. So shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to Treatment in the building. Shout out to Culture in the building. Shout out to Winter in the building, King P in the building. And again, those are some of our day one, some of our badge holders. So again, continue to engage in the chat. Our show was built off love. Continue to tell a friend, and we're gonna have a good time tonight. All right, y'all. Y'all already know first segment of the night, popular opinions. Y'all already know these are not our questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the questions in the answer, or in the questions. Uh, this segment is brought to you by OUV Records, as you see right here. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. All right, y'all. First question of the night. Which record label, again, y'all remember, which record label had the biggest impact? Which record label had the biggest impact on our culture? Number one, Ruthless Records. Number two, Death Row Records. Number three, Def Jam Records. Number four, Bad Boy Records. Again, let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, which record label had the biggest impact on our culture? Again, number one, Ruthless Records. Number two, Death Row Records. Number three, Def Jam Records. Number four, Bad Boy Records. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. For me and my money, I'm going to say Def Jam, mainly because Def Jam is a little bit more universal. They had rap, they had R&B, and they had artists that just feels older to me, if that makes sense. Like, it feels like they was there from the beginning of rap. So they not only had artists from, the mid 80s all the way still to still till today. So I'm gonna say Def Jam, even though Death Row was very pivotal in the music space and the music culture from, I would say, the mid '90s. And when they came like a mother. Um, Having Snoop Dogg, having Dr. Dre, having Tupac. I mean, and the list goes on and on. Dog Pound. It goes on and on. Death Row was very influential. Ruthless was very influential as well, with Dr. Dre, Easy E, and NWA. And then, of course, Bad Boy. Bad Boy again, mid 90s, Biggie Smalls, Little Kim, The Locks. I mean, the list goes on and on. 112, Faith Evans. It gets crazy. Um, Musically, just hearing those names, I definitely want to say Bad Boy because I'm from, Brooklyn and that whole New York vibe. But like I said, I'm gonna go with Def Jam because it was much longer and it feels like in every era they had somebody to really carry it. So I'm gonna go with Def Jam. In the chat, I'm seeing two. So two is Death Row. I'm seeing two in the chat. All right, y'all. So again, I went with Def Jam. The chat went with Death Row. The rest of the world at 57% went with Death Row Records. Death Row Records. That's kind of high. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not. I feel like that's a bit too high. I could understand 37%, but 57%. That's kind of wild. 57 is wild. I'm not gonna lie. And this was out of 10,000 people voting. So 57% said Death Row Records. So do I agree? No, obviously. But 57, that's very wild. I'm just gonna put that out there. That's very wild. Uh so all right, y'all, moving on. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. All right. Who is the best number one overall pick? Who is the best number one overall pick in the NBA since LeBron James? Number one, Dwight Howard. Number two, Derrick Rose. Number three, Kyrie Irving. Number four, Anthony Davis. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, the question was, who's the best number one overall pick since LeBron James? Obviously, the NBA. Number one, Dwight Howard. Number two, Derrick Rose. Number three, Kyrie Irving. Number 4, Anthony Davis. So let me know what y'all think in the chat. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? So out of all, like, I, off the back, I want to say Derrick Rose off the back because I don't think we realize how great Derrick Rose was when he first came into the NBA. When he played at Memphis, the University of Memphis, he was an immediate impact at 18. He took that team to the Final Four. He took that team to the championship. They lost in the championship. That's how good he was. And in the first beginning of his career, the first tier of it, he was athletically unmatched from the point guard position, and he could just take over, dominate games. He was the youngest MVP that we had at that time. And him doing it at 6'2", 6'3" point guard is unheard of. I mean, we haven't heard nothing like that since Isaiah Thomas. And Isaiah Thomas did that, what, 89, 88, 89, maybe 90. So Derrick Rose was so special. And I think we would be in a different type of NBA if Derrick Rose would have been healthy for the majority pieces of his league, of this time that he played. He put a lot of fear on the other team. So I want to say Derrick Rose, but then again, Derrick Rose got hurt. Anthony Davis, top tier talent. His talent is when Anthony Davis is healthy and aggressive. I'll say Anthony Davis is top 3 power forward ever play in the league, or from a talent perspective. Um, but he's never led a team to the NBA Finals. So I'm kind of nitpicking, but I would say I'm still going with Derrick Rose Anthony over Anthony Davis, but overall I have to go with Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard, young phenom. He wasn't his game wasn't offensively sexy, pause, but he knew how to win. He knew how to dominate his position, and he helped the Magics with Turkoglu, Michael Petras. Like these guys were good, but these guys wasn't all stars. And the rest of the crew, Jamil Nelson, a really good point guard, really solid point guard, but he's not going to be remembered as one of the greats. So Dwight Howard took that team to the finals. So I got to give credit where credit's due. I love Kyrie Irving's game. Smooth. I'll pay any type of money to see him play basketball. This dude is one of the best talents we ever had in the NBA, hands down. Like I said, I won't argue with anybody that doesn't agree that Kyrie Irving is one of the best talents we ever seen in the NBA. So for that, I'm going with Dwight Howard. In the chat, I'm seeing Kyrie Irving. Like I said, Kyrie Irving is sensational. So the chat went with Kyrie Irving. I'm going with Dwight Howard at 48%. The rest of the world went with Kyrie Irving. Again, I'm not mad at y'all going with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a champion. He's an all-star player. Uh he's one of the best point guards that we've ever seen from a talent perspective ever in the game. I don't think there's no point guard that we've ever had in the NBA that could say that they could bust Kyrie Irving ass. I don't think there's not one. Magic Johnson, uh, Isaiah Thomas, obviously Steph Curry. There's not one point guard, top tier point guard worth talking about that we're going to remember 50 years from now that we're going to sit here and say, yeah, Kyrie Irving, he couldn't get the best of him. Allen Iverson, or any point guard that you could name. Like Kyrie, I think those point guards are going to get theirs, but he's going to get his. If that's a head-to-head, if we're talking about at their very best, with all their superpowers, all those point guards I named, Jason Kidd, all those great point guards, and you take Kyrie Irving at his best, that's going to be a hellified game. And I believe they're going to get theirs, and Kyrie is going to get his. So I'm not mad at the Kyrie Irving. And you know what's crazy? When Kyrie Irving first came into the league, I was like, yo, this is a weak ass draft class if you got Kyrie Irving going number 1. Because I didn't see him play yet. All I know is that Duke had a point guard that played half the season. And I'm like, he going number 1? And it was like, yo, bro, you got to see him play. I was like, nah, I don't care about none of that. They was like, yo, bro, you gotta see him play. And then when I seen them play, I was like, oh, all right, I see how they took him number one. I said, all right, you know what I'm saying? So I got, so after I seen it, I was like, I respect it. And, Kyrie Irving is that dude. So, again, everybody else went with Kyrie Irving at 48%. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. We came up with the segment because Hollywood just give us trash ass ideas. They give us movies we don't care about, no intrigue, no backstory. They just keep running the same thing and just don't throwing a different face on it. So I came up with a segment where we got better ideas for movies and movie series. So, all right. So my Hollywood Need to Ask Us for this episode. I want to see a football movie. We haven't had a football movie. It feels like in years, like a really good football movie. So I want to see a movie based on a true story. I want to see the movie of Tommy Frazier. For those who don't know Tommy Frazier, OG, Bobby Johnson, Tommy Frazier, look him up and you see what I'm talking about. He was a great quarterback for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Nebraska at the time that Tommy Frazier played for them was outstanding. They was the equivalent of what Alabama is today. So I want to see a movie based on him, of his life on and off the field and what it took to get in his position. And being in today's climate of the NFL, he would have easily played in the NFL. But because he had such athletic ability, the NFL didn't feel like he was a prototype quarterback where he could run the football. His arm, he had a strong arm. He needed to work on accuracy, but he definitely had a strong arm. And you could improve on accuracy as we see in the NFL today. You have passing coaches, right? That's all Tommy Frazier needed was a passing coach, but he already had the tools to pass the ball, and he was so outstanding, so electric as a runner. And I would love to see the movie of Tommy Frazier. He has some of the best highlights that you could ever imagine in college football altogether. So I want to see Hollywood. Well, I want to see a movie on Tommy Frazier again, based on his life, upbringing, the times in college, and he also played in the CFL, the Canadian League. So again, that's the movie I want to see. That's my Hollywood Need to Ask Us. I wouldn't be mad if they even did like an 8 episode series. I'm cool for the 8 episode series or a 3 hour movie. I'm cool either way, but I think it will be something dope to see. Tommy Frazier also is one of them players. If he played in the era of NIL, he was easily a $2-3 million quarterback at the time he played. Like I'm trying to tell you, if you look this man up, you see his highlights even in 2025, you're going to be impressed. So again, shout out to Tommy Frazier. I would love to see a movie on his life. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. Some of y'all favorite segment of the show. Shout out to some of y'all first-time watchers. Again, I'm Ashley Lovechild. We talk about everything here at Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. So thank y'all for tuning in. So my must-see movie, my first must-see movie of the night came out in 2011, directed by Ditto Montrell. This movie stars Al Pacino, Channing Tatum, Tracy Morgan, Juliet Brinshaw, Katie Holmes, and Ray Liotta. This movie is called The Son of No One. Again, it's called The Son of No One. Fire movie, must-see movie. This movie's about uh a young kid in the projects, just trying to make his way through. Um, a couple people get killed, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So again, make sure y'all tap in to see The Son of No One and listen to all those damn people in the movie. The acting is top tier. All right, my second must-see movie came out in 2000, directed by Stephen LaRoque. This movie stars Scott Bulker, Annabelle Sorsa, Ed N.R. George, Danzy and Jack Blessing. This movie is called Above Suspicion. Fire musty movie again about like a civilized, well-to-do, citizen of that neighborhood trying to do right by the neighborhood, and he get caught up in watching the rest of the movie. So I won't ruin it for y'all. So make sure y'all tap in to see Under Suspicion. Third and final must-see movie came out in 1992, so it's old school, but it's fire. This movie is directed by Bain LaPlummer. Bain LaPlummer. This movie stars John Lithgow, Lolita Dorchefs, Dorich, damn, David Chiss. I'm tearing that name up. Excuse me. Amanda Pombo and Stephen Burr. This movie is called Raising Cain. Raising Cain. Fire movie, y'all. This movie's about he's like a child psychiatrist, and he's really trying to help the kids in the neighborhood. Comes home one day and he watched the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So again, make sure y'all tap in to see Raising Cain. It's a horror film, so make sure y'all be ready for the jump scares. So make sure y'all tap into that movie. So my three must see movies again, y'all, is The Son of No One, Above Suspicion, and Raising Cain. So make sure y'all tap in to see those movies. Quick shout out to Ahmad. Thank you for tapping in, my brother. Appreciate you. What's good, gang? We appreciate you tapping in, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. We appreciate that for tapping in. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Our must hear. Y'all know how I do. I'm gonna give y'all fire music, some music that y'all must have in your playlist, whether it's old school or brand new, whether it's R&B, whether it's hip hop. Y'all know I'm a true student of the game. So make sure y'all have these three songs on your playlist. All right, my feature artist is Little Kim. Make sure y'all get Little Kim on y'all playlist, y'all. So the first must-have song on your playlist by Little Kim is "Get in Touch." Get in touch. I'm sorry. Get in touch with us. Get in touch with us, featuring Styles P. Fire song. Make sure y'all put that on y'all playlist. Number two, Magic Stick, featuring 50 Cents. Y'all. I know y'all heard that in the club already. So make sure y'all put that on your playlist. Number three, The Jump Off, featuring Mr. Cheeks. Another joint that plays off in the club. But make sure y'all put these on your playlist again by Little Kim. Again, The Jump Off featuring Mr. Cheeks, Magic Stick featuring 50 Cent, and Get in Touch with Us featuring Styles P. So make sure y'all tap into those songs from Little Kim. Shout out to Ahmad again. Love from the Middle East. You already know, man. It's love every day. Again, appreciate you. All right, moving on to our must-read books. Y'all know I'm an avid book reader, so make sure y'all tap into this book. This is a crime murder thriller. This is the type of book to get your mind off the everyday BS. So make sure y'all tap into the Thursday Murder Club. Again, it's called the Thursday Murder Club. This book is this book is by Richard Olsman. So make sure again y'all tap into the Thursday Murder Club. Great murder mystery book, and again, it's great for entertainment, just to get your mind off things and to take yourself away from the norm. All right, y'all. Shout out to Ebony, Ashley. You kill me every episode. I have never heard of these movies. I aim to please. I aim to please. I try to give y'all movies y'all never heard of, so it broadens your movie palette. So again, make sure y'all tap into these movies, because when you watch them, I would love for you to come back and say, "Hey Ash, I saw this movie. I saw that movie. This is what I thought about it," and we'll bring it up while we on live too. So make sure y'all tap into those movies. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. So y'all already know this is one of our newest segments on the pod. Send them to Turkey or nah. We came up with this segment. This is a segment we should have had, but I covered a story about somebody in the rainbow community in Turkey. And in Turkey, if you look or act like you're in the rainbow community, they will arrest you and put you in prison for an exorbitant amount of time. So that's how we came up with the segment "Send Them to Turkey." We also have one of our day ones who always say "Send them to Turkey." So this is a segment we should have had a long time ago. All right, y'all. First, first one of the night. Send them to Turkey or nah. A WNBA player, Kelsey Plum, gave a superfan flack for waiting out to get autographs. She said the fan came off very weird, and she looked like she was very uncomfortable. But the fan did want some signatures for for her basketball cards. Do we send Kelsey Plum to Turkey or nah? Y'all can either put T in the chat or N in the chat. Either one will do. But me personally, I'm going to send her to Turkey on this one. I'm going to send her to Turkey. The reason why I'm going to send her to Turkey on this is because the WNBA, because of I don't say the hoopla, but y'all been waiting for this moment as American basketball players to play in America and to get this type of uh, fandom. And in order for your league to grow, y'all have to be ready for these new type of fans. So now that you do have fans and super fans, you have to embrace them, because those are the same people that's not only going to buy basketball cards, they're going to be the same people to buy your jersey, buy tickets, support your book when you finish with your career. These are the people that's really going to be tapped in. So I think it was a bad look on her part, just for even acknowledging that she felt uncomfortable, only because the person, based on what we seen on camera, did not do anything to be a nuisance to her. Whether if he was waiting around, if he doesn't invade her space, and he doesn't come off as a threat, he's literally holding a book of basketball cards. So I don't see how that's a threat for him to be weird. Is it unusual behavior? Yeah, especially for the WNBA. But if you have fans and people that's going to tune and tap in, that's not something you want to verbalize. So if I'm Casey, if I'm Casey Plum's management, I would advise her to say, "Hey, this is a new airspace. Every person that you come in contact with is a potential fan for you and the WNBA. So if you treat them right, then they're gonna do right." Now, ultimately, she still signed the card, but the damage is already done. She still said what she said and then signed the card. That's like if you're really hungry. Imagine you being really hungry, right? And somebody put McDonald's fries in front of you. And like, yeah, you're gonna eat that, but you're gonna wait 5 minutes instead of eating it while it's piping hot. Because you're hungry, you're still gonna eat it. It's not gonna hit the same as it just came out from the fry machine. So that's how she gave it up. She was soggy fries. And I guarantee you that same general interest, that same love and passion that fan had for her, it's not going to be the same. So I implore all the WNBA players, this is new space, new air that you're breathing when it comes to eyes and people that want to support, and the people that do support need to show them love. So I'm sending Casey Plum to Turkey for that. So yeah. All right, y'all. In the chat is sending Casey Plum to Turkey. I seen T's in the chat. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. A New York City woman throws drinks at throws her drink at a guy and punches the guy in the face. New York City woman throws a drink on a guy and then punches him in the face after she rudely walked past him, cut him off. He said, "You could at least said excuse me," and she replied with, you know, obscenities, threw her drink on him, and then punched him in the face after he looked at her like, "Yo, you still could have said excuse me." Like, and his first reaction wasn't to even defend himself or to attack her. His first reaction, he stopped, caught himself, and was like, "You at least still could have said excuse me." So, do we send her to Turkey or not? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Do we send her to Turkey or not? Because me personally, I'm sending her all the way to Turkey on a first class trip. That's a fact. Shout out to Critical Rick in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Uh, one of our day ones in the building, man. So again, I'm sending her to Turkey. For those who just popped in, the question was send them to Turkey or not. New York City girl cut a man off. He responded, "You at least could have said excuse me." She replied with obscenities, threw a drink on him. He still after that he replied with, "You still could have said excuse me." Then she punched him in the face. So are we sending her to Turkey or not? Again, I said I'm sending her to Turkey. Again, so first of all, if you don't know somebody and you're cutting them off, that's risky business. That's super rude. And the fact that it's brother and sister, that shows the lack of respect that we have for each other. Not brother and sister as in kin, but brother and sister as in melanin. So the lack of respect that she had for him was out of this world. Then on top of that, him standing on business like, "Yo, you could at least said excuse me," and her response was to, basically curse at him and then throw a drink on him. What if she had herpes? What if she had herpes? What if she had HIV? I'm saying, like, one out of two adults in this country has herpes. So imagine the drink she throws on him had herpes. I'm just saying. And then on top of that, the amount of disrespect you throw a drink on anybody. What do you think the response going to be? Let alone you're a young lady and you're doing that to a dude in New York City, by the way. Like, she really tried it and got away with it, because I guarantee you, most men would not have exude and would have been able to have that type of restraint. No way. No way. To throw a drink on a guy that you don't know, even if you threw a drink on a guy that you do know, that's still not wise. And you just throwing on a random guy in New York City. Like, I don't, people that's not from New York City, the reason why that's so pivotal is because New York City is the type of place where you could lose your life in an instant and nobody would know. Nobody would ever seen your killer, because everybody minds their business. People could be walking down the street all bloodied up. People be looking like, "Oh, damn, I gotta get to work." So New York City is them type of places, and especially at night, you get folded up like a beach chair, and it's like nothing done happened. So I hope this is not a new trend where ladies are continuously to disrespect men and disrespect men that they don't know. You're putting yourself in harm's way. Don't do this. I will implore any woman that I love, that's whether in my family, outside of my family, to not respond this way. Keep it pushing. So her being on the wrong, him calling her on it, and then she punches him in the face. Mind you, he does nothing at all. Again, kudos to that brother, because every man would not exude and not display that type of restraint. So again, I hope this is not a trend, because this is going to leave a lot of people hurt. Seriously, seriously. So this lady, I'm sending her straight to Turkey. The chat is sending her to Turkey as well. Shout out to Jose in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. So again, I hope this don't become a thing. No way. You can't do that in Florida. You can't do that in Atlanta. You can't do that in California. You cannot do that. You cannot do that in Texas. You cannot do that in Texas. Mississippi dudes don't play them type of games. Do that to a dude in Chicago and see what happened to you. See what happened to you. See what happens to you. Do that to a dude in Philly. Again, she did it to the right person in New York City because 9 times out of 10, what's that song by Boyz II Men? It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Trying to tell you, don't let that be a trend. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Send it to Turkey or not. Again, type in the T's to send them into Turkey, or type in them N's not to send them to Turkey. Grown kids, grown kids, grown kids, grown kids. Grown kids is choosing to go no contact with parents. Grown kids are choosing to go non-contact with parents. Send that to Turkey or not. Send that to Turkey or not. Let me know in the chat. Send that to Turkey or not. Again, I want to thank y'all for tapping in. We're on every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 p.m. If this is your first time watching, I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. A quick shout out to my normal co-host, which is Santana, or my guest co-host, Jokey from Jokey Entertainment. So shout out to those brothers, man. Uh, Again, let me know to send them to Turkey or not. Again, growing kids are choosing to go non-contact with parents. I'm going to say send this notion all the way to Turkey on the first class flight as well. Send this to Turkey. Any child, I don't want to say child, any grown adult that's choosing to go no contact with their family or with their parent have some serious issues. And the reason why I say that, because each kid relationship with their parent is different all across the board. Now I can get, if you grew up, and shout out to Paul in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate Paul in the building. If you're a grown kid now and you grew up and you and your parent didn't have the best of relationships, the relationship is toxic, um, they was on drugs, they abused you, they essayed you, then I can get that, right? But there's a notion going around that if you're a good parent, then there's no way your kids will go non-contact. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because as people, we want when we want it. And when you become a young adult, that newfound air of independence and not necessarily having to do what your parents said to do, that's a high all on it and all in itself. Now, most kids that's choosing this will say, well, I didn't choose to be born. Guess what? Your parents didn't have the choice to be born either. But we here, they're here. So at the end of the day, you can't have it both ways. You can't hold on to being a victim as a child, as a grown adult, and then look at your parents and say, "Well, I'm choosing to go non-contact, but I'm struggling on top of that." You see what our relationship, how it affected my life? No, you choose to go non-contact. So every decision that you make on your own, yes, it affects you, but you're choosing to cut your access. You're choosing to cut your protection. You're choosing to cut everything that it comes with having your parent in your life as an adult, because it hits different. And it's a part of this new era. Again, when I was in my 20s, did I want to go non-contact with my parents? No. And me and my parents, our relationship, we was close, but it wasn't perfect. It was borderline toxic. God rest their souls. Both my parents, they died back to back of each other. Miss them still to this day. Me and my father relationship was like brothers. Me and my mom relationship was very close. Very close. My mother said some things to me that I would never forget that was not in the best of light. That I still think of from time to time, but I still think of happy memories of my mother. Because guess what? Me and my mom had great times. And as I became an adult, I realized I needed my parents more as an adult. Not for anything else, but to know that I have people in the world that have my back emotionally and spiritually. Had nothing to do with finances. Has everything to know, like, yo, I still got back in this world. I still got people that when they hear my name, they think the best of me, right? So that was my notion with my parents. So a lot of my friends, they had toxic relationships with their parents too. Did they ever go non-contact? No. My mother will blow up my phone all day, every day, telling me she needs something. Knowing she could go get it. She don't care about her going to get it. She just want me to go get it just so she could see me, touch me. Not touch. I get what I mean by touch me. You know what I mean. Just being a part of my life, even though it got on my last nerve. Same thing with my pops. Me and my pops argued all the time. We couldn't get much agreed up on. Michael Jordan did play for the Bulls. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. Argue about cats and dogs all the time, but that was still my dude. Still my dude. And kids is going non-contact for way less than that. So at the end of the day, I'm throwing this to Turkey altogether. So I'm sitting in this notion that kids, I want to say kids, but grown adults or young adults is choosing to go non-contact with their parents. Uh Shout out to Paul in the building again. Is that your parents on the pic behind you on the wall? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yup. Those are my peoples in the back. That's where I came from. Uh, so again, no, I don't think most kids from this era realize that their parents wasn't born parents, right? And two, there's no book to parenting. So every situation is not going to be handled the way you want it to be handled. It's not going to be handled with the utmost explanation. Because me personally, like I was raised with no explanation. Some of y'all may know what I mean when I say that. What I mean is when I was raised with no explanation, if my mother or my dad said something, it was like, yo, just do it. I'm not asking them why. I'm not doing it. Because I know I'm gonna get chin checked. See what I'm saying? I developed a mean bob and weave game because of my parents, especially my mom. She was quick and sneaky with hers. You know what I'm saying? Well, my pops, I kind of knew when, you know what I'm saying? I looked at that back foot, like Deion Sanders said, that back foot, dog. When he put the back foot, I knew he was about to swing. You know what I'm saying? So my bob and weave game was impeccable. You see what I'm saying? So again, the fact that kids is not working through situations with their parents and choosing to go non-contact, this is more of an era thing. This is not a thing about just parents, because you can't tell me that this era of parents is not good parents. All we did was try. My parents, all they did was try. My parents wasn't the most attentive people, but but they was there. They was there. Were they the most intensive? Yeah, now y'all got me messing up my word. But were they the most intensive people? No, no, because them being there, they felt like, yo, that's enough. But I don't hold their feet to the fire on that because they did the best that they can do. Because their parents, they was there, but they wasn't there. You see what I'm saying? It's just different each generation. So again, I'm sending that notion to Turkey. I'm on live. Stop texting me. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time To Rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. Button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. Uh, it seems like we here, y'all. It seems like we here. Uh, the U.S. We are at war with Iran. They said President Trump said it was nuclear, a successful attack on 3 nuclear sites. So we are at war with Iran. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Do y'all think it's BS? Do y'all think it's political? Do y'all think it's what we need to do? Like, what do y'all think? I mean, here's my take on it. Because us being in the U.S., we have people from all over the place, right? But if you're in the U.S., I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear necessarily where you from for real, because you're in the U.S. You decided to take refuge in the US. You want to be American for all the benefits. So I'm kind of past the part where people that's not from the US come to the US and be talking there like, yo, back in my country, da da da, then go back to your country. And I'm also on the type of time, if you talking big heavy from your country, in your country, about the US, oh, we gonna come see you. We gonna pull up, as they say. We gonna see you in them streets. I'm all for that at this point in time. I'm seriously all for that, because at the end of the day, one, if you don't want to be here, don't come here. Number two, I guarantee you, when I go to other countries, I don't be like, yeah, big USA, oh, in a building with like, what's happening, baby? Brooklyn, baby. No, I keep it cool. I keep it chill. I do what they do in those countries. I keep it real humby like. They could take a look at me and tell that I'm from the US. I mean, well, maybe not. I'm olive color, so you know what I'm saying. I got the universal look. You know what I'm saying. I can blend in anywhere. I'm like a damn chameleon, but y'all get what I'm saying. The clothes that I got on, it's a tell. So at the end of the day, when I'm at other places, I keep it cool. But when I'm at other countries, I'm not saying, yo, back in the US, bro, I can get McDonald's 24/7. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nah, I keep it cool, I keep it humby, and I keep it respectful. Whatever customs that country have, guess what? I'm participating in. If this country get up at this time, guess what? That's the time I'm getting up. I'm gonna keep it cool, keep it humby. So I'm tired of that whole narrative where people coming from other places and down talking a place that you decided to come to make a better life for yourself, but you talk about your old country. So go back to your old country and make a better living for yourself. It's so popping over there, right? And on top of the fact that, again, if people talking crazy, then they're gonna get this word. They're gonna get this word. So I'm just of that mindset. If we need to go to war, then we go to war. We suit up. It's time to get busy. And surprisingly, since the news had dropped all through social media, I'm seeing a lot of Americans saying, like, yo, it's time to go to war, baby. Sign me up. Sign me up. I'm seeing the quote unquote, and I hate using this term, but YNs is like, yo, send me. I want to get activated. It's like, it's about time we display this type of energy for people that have a disdain for us. The people that want that, you want that energy? Cool. We will oblige. It's about that time. So I'm all for this, to be honest with you. Shout out to Ebony. If we need to fight, then if we need to fight, then so be it. That's a fact. That's a fact. I agree with you hands down. I agree with you hands down. Because again, I'm just tired of that lazy narrative where again, when people come from other countries, which is cool because that grows the culture, but don't come over here and diss and trying to diss us. Oh, y'all lazy, this, that, and the third. Oh, word? Then go back to where you from. That I can't imagine me going to any other country and be like, yeah, I outwork y'all over here. And if I do, I'm gonna keep it humble because I'm trying to advance. I'm trying to move up as fast as possible. I'm not gonna put y'all on awareness that y'all lazy. And that's not even real because we work hard all the time. It's about working smarter than harder on top of that too. So I'm just tired of that lazy narrative. You feel me? So yeah, I'm all for this. I'm all for this. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Actress Viola Davis said that Juilliard trained her to be a white actress, and through that training, what I can play the audio. Let me play the audio for y'all. I don't want to mess up what this lady said. Great actress, by the way. Great actress, by the way. Hold on, let me play the audio. I got the audio. When it looks like it's technical training in order to deal with the classics, in order to deal with the Strindbergs and the O'Neills and the Chekhovs and the Shakespeare, I totally understand that. But what it denies is the human being behind all of that. I feel that as a Black actress, I'm always being tasked to show that I have range by doing white work. Listen, I can do the best I can with Tennessee Williams, but he writes for fragile white women. Beautiful work, but it's not me. But we don't put those same parameters on white actors. Is she going to be able to pull off Mama and Raising the Sun? Is she going to be able to pull off Beneatha? Is she going to be able to pull off Molly in Joe Turner's Come and Gone when Molly says, I ain't going south, and make me believe it? They don't have to do that. So for those 4 years at Juilliard, all the white actor has to do is play all white characters. That's not me. And then once I leave Juilliard, guess what? Most of what I will be asked to do are Black characters, which people will not feel that I am Black enough. So then I'm caught in a quagmire, this sort of in-between place of sort of not understanding how to use myself as the canvas. Sanford Meisner says the most important question an actor can ask is why. I'm going to redefine that question. I think the most important question anyone can ask is why. And then when you get to the end of why, the most really powerful question you can ask is why not? Why can't I be the weight I am now? Why can't I have muscular arms? Why can't I have a... All right, so we got the gist of that, of what Viola Davis said about being at Juilliard and with the training and body, basically training her to be a white classic actress, and then getting out into the real world, get into the, actually gaining roles, the roles that she had access to. They're asking her to be herself, but they training her to be someone else. So, and by training her to be somebody else, again, she says that it negates the human experience of being a cultured woman. So I just thought that was very interesting altogether because we see it all the time in movies where I don't need I don't want to pick nobody out, but I have to use this as an example. A lot of Tyler Perry's movies or shows, when we see cultured people, I don't see myself in any of his characters. None. So I feel like the characters are more caricatures of people that he think will act a certain way in a certain situation. I really believe people that's not a part of the cultural experience actually believe that there's a thing as acting so-called Black. Y'all know how I feel about the word Black. That's not what we are. We're not three-fifths of a people or person. But for the topic of the conversation, the word so-called Black, like you can act Black. There's no such thing as acting Black. You could be hip hop, You can act hip hop because hip hop is a culture, and within that culture is a subculture where you act, talk, walk a certain type of way, right? Um, and in that, where's the room in Juilliard for people to just be themselves, right? Because the whole purpose of acting is to master emotion. So why can't a person learn how to master emotion just being their authentic self, whether they're white, whether they're melanated, whether they're from any type of different cultures or backgrounds? Why can't they just be their authentic self and master emotions, master the ability to be sad, happy, be jovial, be in between, learn how to be comedic while being serious at the same time, learning how to make the scene high stakes. It's a high stakes scene. These are all mastering emotions, mastering timing. Why can't that just be it instead of just learning from a perspective that's completely European? And then in the real world, in the real acting world, when you come in contact with people, you're only getting access to your original self. But again, it's not our original when we're not writing our own stories. So that's a mind sex in itself. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to Ebony. She signed up for this life. Uh, Shout out to Paul. She signed up for this life, but I'm sure she discovered this halfway through Center Oil and was all in by then and became successful. Decided to finish the training. I mean, I don't like to give credit like that. I get what you're saying, Paul, but I don't like to give credit like that because the reason why I say that is because when you play football, all football players know there's a possibility you could get hurt out here on any given play, right? And they still play. So now when they get hurt, they can't be mad at actually getting hurt because it's a possibility. They signed up for it. So I wouldn't say that. It's just something that some people, there's good in everything and there's bad in everything, right? And to her, that good outweighed the bad. So I don't necessarily want to give her that just right off the riff. And that's with everything that we do. Same thing with doctors and lawyers, right? They make great money, but they got to work a lot of hours, right? You're going to be away from your family like crazy, but you make a lot of money. That's the drawback. When you do go on vacation, you could go take you a nice, comfortable vacation, right? Nice, comfortable one, expensive one, right? But you still got to continue to put that time and that work in. And at any point in time, the drawback is there could be a situation if you mess around and lose a patient. I know there's all type of protocols for that as well. So there's good and bad and everything. So sometimes we say, it comes with the territory. Same thing for with me in music. I knew that the music game, I didn't know it was like this though. I knew the music game necessarily wasn't real. It wasn't built off real talent because there's too many talented people that wasn't at the top or wasn't in the conversation. So when I became an artist, I understood that my talent is not going to be end all be all. I had to learn how to promote. I got to learn how to really talk to people. I really have to learn how to give a great interview and give great music because I don't have the same marketing dollars as you know Def Jam. I got good marketing dollars, but I don't have $1 million to spend on promotion in hopes that off that $1 million in promotion that I make $4 million. Right? So there's good and bad in everything. So I don't want to give her that off the bat. But again, she's a great actress. So kudos to her. I just find it interesting that when we as people go through these spaces and we discover these things that we're actually surprised. Like even again, me and music, I didn't know that there was so much rainbow activity in the background. I didn't know it was like this. I knew something was going on, but I didn't know it was like this. So it was certain people I met, whether they was producers, whether they was gatekeepers at a radio station or whatever the case may be, heard the music, thought it was fire, and I just never understood why some of those stations it never materialized. And it could have been that they wanted some extra, but because I am kind of crazy, I will say that, y'all. I am kind of crazy. I'm unpredictable, and I have a very aggressive personality that you wouldn't want to try that. That's just not my bop or respect too. But if somebody was to try me like that, it wouldn't end well. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not surprised when I hear about all the backdoor rainbow play. Okay. So, it's a good and bad and everything, y'all. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. NBA great Mike Bibby said that if the NBA wanted a certain game, they would bring in certain refs to referee the game. And he said he was told this by former teammate Chucky Brown. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Me personally, and mind you, y'all, Mike Bibby played late 90s, 2000s, definitely 2000s. That Sacramento team, I'm looking at that starting five. That Sacramento team was good. So that was, again, late 90s, 2000s to the 2009. So his career was very extensive. And hearing that if certain refs came in to referee a game, that they wanted the game to go a certain way. So imagine all those games that the gamblers bet on, that they knew this team was better than that. But if you watch the NBA game, they in the NBA for a reason, right? So if you give them a call here, you give them a call there, that could change the output of the game, right? So, am I surprised? No. Excuse me. I'm not surprised about that. Um, there's been certain games that I bet on, that I have bet on. Let me clarify that I have bet on in my past. And I said, I know I shouldn't bet on this team. I know I shouldn't bet on this team. This team is 11 and 34, and they're playing away against a team that's 34 and 11. I know I shouldn't bet on 11 and 34 team. Guess what? The 11 and 34 team ended up winning that game. The team that's 34 and 11 had all their starters healthy. And when you go back and look at the highlights, you like, oh, somebody went off. They had an outstanding game. They couldn't miss. They had a couple of calls, but they couldn't miss. So, again, am I surprised? No, because, again, I betted on games with teams that had no business winning. They ended up winning. So I'm not surprised at that. Not surprised. I thought this was years ago. No, this right here was this is because they said it years ago, and they brought out the ref that talked about it years ago. There was a ref that actually was betting on games, but they said there was a different set of refs that would come in and basically specialize in games like the scenario I just laid, where you have a really good team versus a very bad team, and you would think that that very good team. So it was great for the people who bet on the underdog. So for people that don't understand, when you bet on 11 and 34 team against a team that's 34 and 11, that means them odds is going to be astronomical. It could be anywhere from plus 500 to plus 800. So for people that don't understand gambling, right? So plus 500 is basically saying for every $100 you put up, you're going to win five on top of that. So in that game by itself, if you put up $10,000, you're going to win $50,000. So imagine if your life savings is 10,000 and you like, yeah, I'm gonna bet it all on this game. You just walked away with 50,000. And the beautiful thing about betting, it's immediate. Soon as that game says 0-0, you go to the window and collect. every dollar. You give a little shump shump to the people that's giving you the money too. You know what I'm saying? That's just good luck. Just a little shump shump. But other than that, that's all your money. So can you imagine how many games that the NBA may have won in betting, making sure that the odds favor them? I'm just saying it's not far fetched. That would be a much bigger scandal because if the NBA is fixing their own games, it will ruin the credibility of the league. But they can't prove it necessarily. They can only put it on the refs. But if you notice, the refs never officially said where it came from. It had to come from somebody from the top. So I'm not surprised at that at all, and it's kind of whack to be honest with you because if you're betting, the whole purpose of a bet is the bet has to be honest. You cannot load the bet. The bet is a bet, and the bet is something that has to be fair. It's a fair bet. This is what's going on, and all right, I'm gonna bet that this is going on, and it has to happen naturally. It can't. You can't stack it like that. So I just think that's super duper whack if that was the case, and I kind of believe that was the case. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Jim Jones. Jim Jones was on Nightcap podcast, hosted by Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson. They got into it, y'all. This is what happens when you get cancers on the show. I'm a cancer, so I seen that cancer energy with Jim Jones and Shannon Sharp. But basically, Jim Jones said on the podcast that he would run circles around Nas rapping right now. This is what he said about the legendary Nas. That he will run circles around around Nas rapping right now. That's what he said. It all stemmed from an argument that Shannon Sharp and Jim Jones was having. Jim Jones cracked the joke on him about wearing tighter shirts or bigger shirts. And Shannon Sharp said, "Well, you still not better than Nas. You still not better than still not better than Jadakiss, and so on and so forth." So that's how that started. And Jim Jones' response was, "I will wrap circles around Nas right now." Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, y'all know me. I'm a hip hop guy. I'm a rapper. I'm a rap artist, whatever you want to call it. I love the rap, uh, the rap culture as a whole because we need all of it. We do need the ratchet. We do need the scholars. We do need people who talking about that money. We do need people that's bringing just different aspects of it. We do need that city energy. We need that country energy. We need that rural energy. We need our perspective. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I love all of it. Now, with that being said, when it comes to rap, Jim Jones in the last 10 years have made himself a certified rapper. If you argue against that, I can't argue with you about music at all. Jim Jones in the last 10 years have made himself a true rapper. And what I mean by that is this. When he came out, it came off to me as a little kid that he was basically Cameron's hype man. Then when they started Dipset, he was a part of Dipset rapping. It's like, oh, Jim Jones, he could hold his own. But universally known, Cam and Jim Jones was the front guys, and they was the nicest guys in the crew. Now, I'm not saying that he's nicer than them or anything like that, but by that point, the rap game, I don't want to say didn't take him serious because that wouldn't be true, but they wouldn't use Jim Jones as a navigational system of rap. They would use Jim Jones as a navigational system of rap culture, knowing what it looked like, feel like, tastes like, pulse. But as far as just everything that embodied, right? Everything outside of rap. Ballin came out. It's like, yo, he got a hit. Mind you, I was a teenager around this time when Ballin came out, or a young adult. I was either a teenager or a young adult. I can't tell you. I more so was a teenager. Yo, he got a record, and then he started having other records. Cool, right? Cool. That swag type of rap, right? But his last few projects, uh, Wasted Talent is probably my favorite project of his overall. In the last 10 years, he's made himself a rapper. And you gotta put respect on his name. But Nas is universally known as God MC. He's just one of those dudes. Him, Jay-Z, Jadakiss, Styles P. They're rap like their bars is just crazy. Um, and I don't think he was necessarily trying to diss Nas. I think it came more as a competitive thing. Like, yo, competitively, if I gotta step in the ring with Nas, I'm gonna bring my A game. I'm gonna bring it to him. So he's not accepting defeat because there's no defeat, right? I think a lot of people was like, yo, you can't see Nas. From what we've seen so far, based on bodies of work, most people gonna say Nas is better. Do I agree? Yes, I do agree that Nas is better. Overall, catalog and bar for bar, yes. But I'm not going to say that Jim Jones don't get busy. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because he does. Um, is this a dumbass argument to have? Yes, it's very dumb, very dumb. Because there's ways of figuring this out. Just do a song. Just get in the studio. Just get in the studio and figure it out. And that goes on both parties. I don't know if Nas want to respond. I don't know if Nas already know that Jim Jones is speaking from a competitive standpoint and not of actualities. But if you're not an artist and you don't think that you're the best, then you should not be in rap, especially rap, let alone music. You should not be rapping. If you don't think you're the best, if you don't think your style is the best, if you don't think your bars is the best, if you don't think your clothes, the way you wear is the best, if you don't think that the things that you embody in rap is the best, then you don't need to be in it at all. And I said this a while ago. There's going to be people on this planet, and this is no shot at him. There's going to be people on this planet that think Pitbull is the best rapper ever alive. They're going to think Twister is the best rapper alive. They're going to think Jay-Z is the best rapper alive. They're going to think that Eminem is the best rapper alive. Lil Wayne, T.I., so on and so forth. People are going to think that. And there's going to be some people in the chat, no, they don't. Da, da, da. There's people that actually think that because music is subjective. It's subjective. Ain't nothing you could do by it, nothing you could say. It's subjective. Whatever vibe you on, and you like that type of vibe, then guess what? You putting that on. If you from Miami, you putting on old school Trick Daddy. You putting on old school Luke, especially if their vibration is in your heart. Yo, they the best to you, dog. And nobody can necessarily argue that because that's your vibe. That's your vibe. Now, when it comes to term to lyrics, that's a whole nother conversation. But if we're talking about music, music is not just lyrics. Music is the beat, the lyrics, the vibe, the style, the authenticity. It's all that encompass in that. So if we're talking about music, it is subjective. And we're talking about bars and what the bars is measured, then it's not subjective. It's not. Because as rappers, we know bars. We know what bars is going to give. Ooh, ah. We know which bars going to do that. We know. So, do I think that Nas is a better rapper? Yes. Yes. Do I think Nas is needed in the hip hop community? Yes. Do I think Jim Jones' contribution was needed to the hip hop community? Yes. That's on the mic and off the mic. Pause. In the booth, out the booth. In the booth, out the booth. Because his style of rap, again, he made himself into a legit rapper where you have to take him serious. But the measure of bars is the measure of bars. So their contributions both are still needed. So I'll say that. Uh Ebony, this is why so many people lose their bets. Oh, you're talking about the bets. Not surprised. I thought this years ago. Oh, he is not the rapper that can take Nas down by no means. Bar for bar, I don't believe so. Bar for bar, I don't believe so. But Jim Jones do got some bangers. He do got some bangers. It rings out. Despite, it still rings out. It still rings out. Both of their contributions is needed. But if we're just talking about rap, just straight rap, based on the evidence that we've had, the bodies of work that we've had, I would put my money on Nas. That's not saying that Jim Jones is trash. That's not saying that his contributions is not needed or necessary to the music. So, yeah. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Kevin Durant. The Suns trade Kevin Durant, superstar Kevin Durant, to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, a 10th round pick, a first round 10th overall pick in this year's draft 2025, and 5 second-round picks. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Quick shout out to Ebony. JJ need to stop. Nas been better. Will always be better. Damn, JJ. Oh well, damn, Ebony. So JJ, no, Jim Jones. Okay, Jim Jones need to stop. Nas been better. Will always be better. Damn. Like I said, that music is subjective. Music is subjective. I tell y'all my top five. And my top five, some people might say, yeah, I ain't bopping with your top five. So what? Okay, if you bop with it, it's my top five. So my top five, back to the hip hop question, J, Big, pause, um, Nas, DMX, and Snoop. Those are my top fives. Now, some of my favorites, Redman, Raekwon, Jadakiss. Jadakiss should have been in my top five. I don't know if I said Jadakiss, but if I didn't say Jadakiss, yeah, Jadakiss is in my top five somewhere. Styles P, even though this wasn't my era, but I remember their raps. And when I go back and listen to them rap, they were rapping. So I gotta give shout out to yeah, this is real old school what I'm about to say, but I gotta give it up. Uh Big Daddy Kane and Cool G Rap. Cool G Rap was ahead of his time. His rap cadence. And shout out to, now I'm saying a whole lot of people, right? And shout out to MOP. Yes. Yes. Shout out to them. Yes. All right, y'all. So again, the Suns have traded Kevin Durant to the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the first round pick for the first round pick for the 10th overall for this year's draft, and 5 first rounders. Again, that was the trade between the Suns and the Rockets. Terrible trade. Terrible trade. Terrible trade if you're the Rockets. Terrible trade. And I'm going to tell you why. The Rockets lost in the first round. Is KD going to get them over the first round? Now, mind you, they traded Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks. Those are two major key contributors of that Houston team. Now, if Jalen Green and Brooks and Durant was coming to the team with Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, then that would be a complete different subject. Then I would say that Houston won the trade. But because they're giving him Jalen Green is what, 23? Maybe? A budding superstar. Killing. Dylan Brooks is a feisty, annoying style type of player. And I mean annoying in the most flattering ways, in the sense of when people look at Dylan Brooks, his game is not, the sexy game, pause. You get what I'm saying? His game is not super splash, pause again. His game is grit and grind. He gonna give you that work. He gonna make you work for it on offense. He gonna give you a hell of a time on defense. I mean, he's a really good player. So now the Suns get Dylan Brooks and they get a young Jalen Green. Their nucleus is younger. Now they get a 10th pick overall, which is going to be a good pick in this year's draft. Not worried about the 5 second-round picks. But with those three guys alone, teaming up with Devin Booker, you have a really good core. A really good core. And in today's NBA, if y'all paying attention, who's in the finals? The Thunder and the Pacers. What do they have? A lot of wings. A lot of wings that can move. A lot of wings on offense and defense. You got Booker and Green, and you got Dylan Brooks. They already got bigs on their team. So when you lose a guy like Kevin Durant, who's older now, if this is prime Kevin Durant, then of course this is not even that wouldn't even be a question, right? But this is an older Kevin Durant. I believe Kevin Durant is what, 35, 36? He's 35, 36. He just won a ball. So he's going into a situation where he's still going to be doing the same thing that he's done everywhere else. He's not going into a situation where it's easier. He's not playing in a system where somebody else is more ball dominant than him, which he would benefit from. Now he's going into another situation where everybody is looking for their shot, counting their shots. Even though he's the best scorer on the team, but it's still not going to work because, again, who do they have to go through? Who do they have to go through? Look at the teams: OKC, the Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Dallas Mavericks. These are really good teams, and barring no injuries, we're having a different conversation. The Clippers are getting healthier. The summertime, we're not even the summertime yet, for real, as far as for the NBA trades and all that. So I don't think this made Houston better. Yeah, I don't think that. On my Instagram, I had people in the comments like, "Yeah, bro, nah, I'm not jacking that." I don't care if you jacking or not. My job is not to convince you. Smart guy, I'm telling my piece based on what I'm seeing on the court in recent time, not overall history. Kevin Durant is one of the best talents we've ever seen in the NBA, hands down. His game does not help Houston. Houston that has to play in the same conference as the Oklahoma City Thunder, as the Timberwolves, as the Lakers, as Dallas. And I keep mentioning these teams because those teams is going to be somewhere in the mix, whether they're top 4 or whether they're in the bottom 8. Denver is still around. They have somebody named the Joker that treats the other NBA guys like they're little school players. Like they little league guys, he just tapped the balls to himself, pause, and score at will. So that's 5 teams off the back. I didn't even mention if New Orleans would be healthy. Again, if the Clippers was healthy off the bat, Golden State is they still not better than Golden State either. So again, this does not make them better. Well, they're still going to be in the playoffs, but this doesn't take them over the hump. To make this type of trade, you have to make a championship run. Why else would you make this trade? Because you're giving up young talent. Kevin Durant maybe has 2 more years left in the league. Maybe. Maybe. At most, I give him 3, but 2 years left for real. And this is no diss at Kevin Durant. He's did this for a long time. But when you make a trade like this, when you give up young pieces that's still developing, Jalen Green is still developing, and he's a monster of a player. He's a beast. But you give up your future for right now. So when you do that, you got to win right now, bro. If they lose in the second round next year, that doesn't make them better. They have to go to the championship next year, seriously, because you play to win the game. Like, I don't know what it is about this new era. It's like, yo, we went to the playoffs though, and that's cool. Nah, you play to win the game. If you ain't winning chips, you wasting time. Then you a trash ass franchise. If you're not playing to win chips, then you a bum ass franchise. Simple and point blank. Shout out to Don Myers in the building. If you not playing for Falcons, if you not playing for championships, you a trash ass franchise. Simple and plain. Simple and plain. So I don't think this trade made them better in the overall sense because again, when you give up your future, them young pieces that's going to develop, continue to develop, and that can help you get over the hump with more experience, more time. You better win right now. You better win right now. So I think the Suns won that trade, hands down. They got time on their hand, and they have a budding superstar who's going to continue to grow. And their team is more prototypical style to compete in the future and now. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Don Myers is stupid, yo. I give you a top 5. Oh, so you on your Dylon stuff from the band. Dylon. He said Falcons. He said Falcons 1, Falcons 2, Falcons 3. You stupid. Falcons 1 and 2. I told you I still got that bet. If the Falcons even go to the Super Bowl next year, I give you $1,000. I'll look for your email and everything and send you $1,000. If they go to the Super Bowl, they don't even have to win. If they go to the Super Bowl, Don, if they go, which I'm not going. So cool. All right, moving on to my next hot topic. The NBA Finals, y'all. The NBA Finals, the NBA Finals, the NBA Finals. The last time I checked on the NBA Finals score, OKC was winning. And they won the championship. They won 103-91. This is their first championship in franchise history. So shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder, OKC Thunder, for winning their first championship ever. Congratulations. They earned it. Let's look at some of these stats. So OKC, let's see what they had going on. Why are y'all showing me averages? I want to see the game. So they won 103-91. Jalen Williams had 20 points. Chet Holmgren had 18. Shea Gildas had 29, 12 assists, 5 rebounds. Goodness gracious, dog. He's been the best player in this series. And Indiana been real feisty, but they couldn't do nothing with SGH, man. They couldn't do nothing with SGA. They couldn't do nothing with him. Couldn't do nothing with him. Nothing with him. Very difficult to guard. Very efficient. The rest of the bench played well. Alex Corso, Case and Wallace put up 10 points apiece. I mean, this was a sizable win. I know Halliburton got hurt. He hurt, I believe, his calf, and it looked pretty ugly. So I wish him speedy recovery, and whatever surgeries that's needed or not needed, I wish him a speedy recovery. He's a really good player, and I hope he continues to do his thing. But again, shout out to OKC Thunder. They are the NBA champions, first championship ever in history. So we made history tonight, y'all. Well, they made history on June 23rd, 2025. Oklahoma City won their first title. Remember that. That might be a random question one day, and somebody say, "I'll give you out $10,000 if y'all can get the question right. Who won the championship in 2025 in OKC Thunder?" So it's a great way to remember. Uh, don't do that, Ash. They may surprise you and get there. Are you talking about the Falcons? No, trust me. No, nah, no. Mm-mm. See, I'm not even asking for 1,000 back from Don if they don't. That's how confident I am that they not. I'm seriously, the Falcons. All jokes aside, all jokes aside, the Falcons actually have a good team. They have a really good running back. They got a great core receivers. Their tight end is outstanding as a talent, but he still haven't yet to really put it all together. I don't know if that's a quarterback connection issue or if that's a work ethic issue. Offensive line is decent. Their defense have been spotty, very spotty. But I must be honest. I don't believe that Michael Penix Jr. will get you to a Super Bowl this year. Could he do it in his career? Yes. Can the Falcons get to a Super Bowl within the next 4 years? It's a possibility. Yes, absolutely. But this year, no. No, it's not happening. No, 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 not at all. Michael Penix Jr. is way better than Kirk Cousins. Yes, I said it. He's way better than Kirk Cousins. When Atlanta last year signed Kirk Cousins over the kid that's playing for the Jets right now, the quarterback on the Jets right now, Fields. Falcons is not a serious franchise when they did that. They're not a serious franchise because there's no way you've seen Fields play and Kirk Cousins play and be like, yeah, we're gonna sign Kirk Cousins over Fields. There's no way. No way. I've seen Kirk Cousins play up close and personal. No way. And gave him all his money guaranteed. When that happened, I said the Falcons is an unserious franchise. One of my boys that he loves to call me when NFL, NBA transactions will happen because I'm gonna give my take like I'm an owner or I'm the person that's being reported to about the trade or about signees, and he'd be like, "Yo, like what you think of this trade?" And I always crack jokes or whatever. When this happened, I said, "Yo, the Falcons is not serious. They're not serious. They signed Kirk Cousins, and he was coming off an Achilles injury. Achilles injury. Achilles injury. So, yeah, not a serious franchise. So what happened? He didn't even last the season. Didn't last the season. So it's a safe bet for me. Yes, the Falcons. Yeah, yeah. Now we trust me, Paul. We good this year. We good this year. We outside this year on that bet. We outside on that bet. We outside, so we good on that one. We good on that one. Uh, yeah. So again, shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder for winning their first ever championship, NBA championship, and salute to the city. I know they're gonna tear it up. I know they're gonna tear it up in the city. Have a good time. Be safe, people, and be safe. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. My keep the lie alive segment. Uh, so my keep the lie alive for this episode. I, so I had an ex. And this is where this comes from. I had an ex. She woke up one day and told me, I dreamed of you cheating on me. So because I dreamed of you cheating on me, then it actually is happening. And I sat there baffled in amazement because she was right. No, I'm joking. She couldn't have been more wrong. She couldn't have been more wrong. I was joking when I said she was right. She couldn't have been more wrong. I'm not gonna lie. When I was with my ex, I was with her for about 3, 4 years, and I loved her more than any other woman that I was with. Do I wish that we were still together? Hell no, she's crazy. But at that particular time, I was in love with her, and my mind wasn't even thinking about cheating on her, to be honest with you. Mind you, I got access to it, I get other offers, and because she knew that, I think that was more of an internal thing with her instead of me. So being that she said that, yo, because I dreamt it, it's actually happening, let me know who it is. And I told some of my friends, and some of my friends laughed at it because they was like, obviously she don't know you, bro. Because the man you are with her is not the same man we knew. You was outside, baby. Now you with her, and now you want to chill in the crib. Now you want to, you know what I'm saying? You go get your money, but you ain't trying to chill with the bros no more. Pause. Like you know what I'm saying? You all about lovey-dovey life. You know, this was at the time. And that wasn't necessarily true either. Because I'm never under somebody. Yeah, I'm never ever under somebody, period. I need to, you know what I'm saying? I need to breathe, you know? But the point that I'm making is that it was wrapped in delusion. And I never thought about it at the time, but it was based on something that she may have been doing. Now, is that factual? No, because again, I don't have proof of it. I never accused her of cheating for that, but it baffled my mind where I wasn't even thinking about cheating. I wasn't even cheating. And because of her dream, she made it into a reality in her mind. In her mind. So the reason why this is so pivotal, when we in relationships, we have to exude positive energy for positive results. You can't get positive results out of toxic behavior. There's no way that you say, I dreamed of you cheating, and you think that turns into anything positive. There's no way you think that the man that you're dealing with has to continuously reassure you that he's not cheating. That's built off toxic behavior. If my friends around me, who's been around me, can see that I'm a better man because I feel like you give me what I need around you, then why can't you see that I'm just a good man to you? Obviously, you didn't see the contrast before you and while with you, but while I'm with you, you getting the best version of myself. So and that goes for both men and women. You can't do toxic shit and expect to get positive results. You can't just, I'm just saying. No, you can't just be saying. Can't be around the house and just be saying. Because you're putting things in the air that's unnecessary and not needed. Because when you're arguing and you're fussing and you're fighting, all you want to do is say, like, yo, can we stop and can we get it popping? Like, I really want to pop them panties right now. Can we do that instead of fighting? I'm turned on right now. I'm horny right now. All this arguing got me kind of hot. My body's hot. Can we get this activated? So if it's not, and even that's a little toxic, right? When people just argue just to have sex, right? That's toxic as shit, right? Like it goes from seeing somebody, like seeing them, and because the smile they put on your face just by seeing them makes you hot, makes your body hot, right? then it just transforms into all this toxic behavior on who can hurt who better than the next person, who could seem to be moving in logic and not out of feelings, and vice versa. So we got to be careful of exuding toxic behavior, because toxic behavior, when you put it on the next person as a dumpster, when you're using them for being an emotional dumpster, a physical dumpster, a mental dumpster. You put all your insecurities on your partner, but your partner is the person that you expect to pour back into you. So if you're pouring into them toxic, negative, jealousy, no accountability, what you think they're gonna pour back into you? And that don't even have to be their intention. That's just it just rolls like that in a relationship. Like you can't just I'm just saying and think it's gonna be cool. Let me check the chat what they saying. That sounds like something Santana would say to you, the way you said that and the way he talks into this pod. I mean, hey, I wasn't trying to, but I'm telling facts based on that standpoint. It's like there's no way you can do that. There's no way that you could dream something in your brain and make a reality. Like, yeah, God tells me in my brain. But if it's not fact, right? Because there's a difference between facts and feelings. And if facts are way more than feelings, then why are we focused on the feeling? Why are we focused on the hypothetical? When the facts are the facts. Why is the facts not the truth? Why is the feelings is the truth? And that's based in not being fulfilled within yourself. That's based in the feeling where you're feeling not enough for yourself. So if you're feeling not enough for yourself, there's no way you could feel enough for me ever. Because it's but so little that you can give me. There's but so little that I would even allow. So if the very thing that you're supposed to pour into me is positivity, great energy, then once you pour that into me, I'm it's not tit for tat, but again, if you take a dirty canister of water and you drink it, what do you think your poop is gonna look like? Or what do you think your pee is gonna look like? It's not gonna be clear, right? It's gonna be yellow as hell. It's gonna look like a damn lemonade juice. So again, be aware of what you pour into people. Be aware of toxic energy, because facts is much bigger than feelings. So be very aware of how you treat that. Because relationships, how you handle relationships, whether they end great or good. Because all relationships have some sort of ending point, whether it ends because you pass away, it ends because it was negative, it was you met somebody else, da da da. There's ways to doing this. So be careful what you pour into people, because the very thing you pour into people, you're gonna drink the same water that you're pouring. So that's my keep the lie alive for this episode. Y'all, I want to thank y'all for tapping in. As always, y'all are amazing. Each and every Thursday and every Sunday, we're on at 10:30 each and every week. Again, Thursday and Sunday for those that's been first time watching. Um, again, I want to stress that my normal co-host Santana, we've been having difficulties on the connection, so that's why he's not on as of this moment for the YouTube portion of the show. Mainly because for some reason, after 150 something episodes, is the it's actually YouTube in itself. When we do it on other platforms, we don't have that issue at all. So be on the lookout that we're going to be doing Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast always on Thursday and Sunday here on YouTube, but we're going to be adding Instagram to the podcast so that way my bro could be on the pod as well. We're going to add a different time, either on the same date or a different date. So just be on the lookout for that. We're still trying to work out scheduling and time. So we're going to make that work at least until YouTube could get us both back on the same time without freezing and all that other stuff. So we want to give y'all a great show. We did something earlier. If you go on my Instagram right now, we did something earlier at Ashley Lovechild. You can see both him and myself. Again, my normal co-host, again, Santana. And shout out again to my guest co-host, Jokey from Jokey Entertainment. So again, shout out to those brothers. But again, thank you for tapping in. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. This is the Ashley Lovechild channel. This is Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. Again, we're on every Thursday, every Sunday. A shout out to some of the sponsors of the show. Bravo Section, Button Snaps, OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Also, I want to thank y'all for supporting my new EP. 6 songs out right now. Again, it's called Winner's Loyalty. For those who don't know, if it's your first time watching, again, tap in, continue to support. I appreciate it immensely, giving y'all fire music. So again, it's on every music platform that you get your music on. So make sure, again, type in Ashley Lovechild, Winner's Loyalty. Also, I did mention that we will be adding times for Ken and Brothers Get a Rap on Instagram. So make sure y'all be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to be doing something exclusively with TikTok and Twitch. That's also going to be announced at a later date and time as well. Again, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Again, like, subscribe, and share button. We built off love. And again, there's membership portions in the page. So each different memberships get different access. So make sure y'all tap in. We also got new t-shirts, merchandise in the link. So make sure y'all continue to support that as well. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, again, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. Button hyphenated sign snaps.com. That's button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Uh, Shout out to Paul. What is your business email? Tap into ouvrecords@gmail.com. ouvrecords@gmail.com. So make sure y'all tap in. Again, we're also going to have some events coming up as well. And we're also working on doing something on the road when we may come to a city near you. So we're working on that as well, both myself and Santana, and probably Jokey from Jokey Entertainment as well. But we're working on it at the very least. I'm definitely going to be out here in these streets. So pull up and show love. So that's also going to be announced as well. Uh, Again, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11. So again, continue to like, subscribe, and share. Got over 400 rewatches of this podcast on this channel and a whole bunch of shorts. So make sure y'all tap in. We just posted some new stuff today. So again, continue to support. Hey man, y'all know what time it is. It's love. And I'll see y'all next time this Thursday at 10:30 p.m. We out.